All right, recording. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Story Motors Podcast. My name is Robert. Mike is somewhere, and we are joined by the very incredible Rose Waltz. Hi, Rose.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for joining us on the show. You are a streamer that I've been following for quite a while, which I think when I first emailed you, I said this is going to sound like a creepy sentence, but I've followed you for a long time on Twitch. Yeah, Rose, go ahead and tell our audience who might actually not know who you are, which is weird. A lot of people that we have on here are associated with Kind of Funny and like Kind of Funny best friends and stuff like that. I don't really think you have any link to Kind of Funny?
No.
Yeah.
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I'll do an introduction. First of all, it's not too weird that you sent me that. I've been following you on Twitch for forever. I've been streaming for about 2 years, seriously, probably a little more, dabbling in it. I do a variety of different things. I mostly video games and model kit building, as you can tell by all the model kits. And so I do a variety of games, a lot of Pokemon, a lot of fighting games, which I think we're going to talk about a bit today, and just any cool action games that I find I love to play as well. And yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. So I say that about Kind of Funny, and first off, real quick, let's get started now. We all have beer. But yeah, I actually found out about you through somebody from Kind of Funny. I was watching.
Was it Andy, possibly?
I'm pretty sure. Actually, it was either Andy or it was Blessing.
Okay.
Because I was watching one of their streams, and they were like, "Oh, let's raid out," and I think they were just looking for somebody who was playing the same game. And raided into your channel, and I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah, this is cool." And you know, she seems like a good person. Followed, and turns out you are a good person. I have been mistaken at times, but
no, that's actually funny you mentioned that, because that was way back when I was still pretty early on in my streaming career. I think I was averaging like 10, 20 viewers or something around that time, and got rated out to like 300 or something like that from one of the Kind of Funny guys, and it was by far the biggest rate I had ever had. So it was incredibly nerve-wracking, doubly so because I was doing a drunk stream, which is kind of a mainstay on my channel.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But I was doing a drunk stream with my friends of Dead Space maybe, or some horror game.
It may have been something like that where it. Now that you mention it, I think it was Andy, because he usually gets like 200-300 viewers. So it may have been like a Dead Space thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was super nerve-wracking at first, but it was a good little growth moment. It was like, whoa, this is neat, very cool, and it's cool to see that people stuck around from that.
Yeah. So, Mike, how have you been? I haven't spoken to you for a couple days now, it seems like.
Yeah, really, it seems like it's been all of a couple of hours since we were texting.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Right? I've been sick, as you can hear. I'm getting over what was a chest cold turned into a head cold, and, getting stuck in traffic for 3 hours on Thursday night. Yeah, in a snowstorm. That was fun. Really, really loved that. But yeah, other than that, been good,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mike streams. He went live yesterday morning, which was great. Late afternoon. He was just like, "I'm home alone, sick. Let's play some Cyberpunk." I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
I'm just like, I'm here.
That's
we're doing
the way
this.
to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I got COVID, I did the same thing. I just booted up the stream, and I think I was playing Elden Ring or something.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, I have nothing else to do. I can't go to work, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be no mic, no cam. Throw on the stream, and I think I lasted about 30 minutes. But
the first time I got COVID, I quarantined in our living room because we didn't really have any other place where I could sleep. So just in the living room on the couch, and I was like, well, I can't go to work, I can't do anything, but Games Done Quick just started, So I just popped my laptop up in front of me and was just watching Games Done Quick while I was just laying there, just like, ugh. Oh, they're playing Kingdom Hearts.
Nice.
Yeah, look, COVID did some good things. Let's be honest, you guys. Okay, let's be honest. All right, everybody. It didn't do anything good. No, you're right. I'm sorry. That's on me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just when everybody tells me about just like, oh, I had to survive lockdown. It was so hard not being able to go anywhere, and I'm just like, I had to go work in a warehouse, so we had a very different pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was also part of the essential workforce in the COVID days. So it was like, I just went to work every day. It was normal, except there were less people on the streets. So,
yeah.
And we had to get our temperature checked every morning before we came into work. But
it was normal, but traffic was so nice. You know?
Yeah.
Oh. And my work was like, oh, hey guys, we're gonna be working from home for at least 2 weeks until this all blows over. And I never went back to that office until I went to drop off my equipment after they fired me 2 years later.
Oh wow!
Amazing.
Yeah, a quick 2-week work from home stint. It sounds like.
Yeah. But we're not here talking about COVID or whether or not it was caused by Mike specifically. It was. He did it.
You doubted my powers.
I did. He's got so much power. We're here to talk about fighting games. And we have the best person on here to talk about fighting games, which is fucking Rose Waltz, leader of the I forget what these things are, the Steel Rose Tekken tournament.
Yeah, the Monarch of the Steel Rose.
There we go.
Hell yeah!
Such a badass fucking name, by the way.
Oh, fucking
community
hard.
tournament. It's actually stolen straight from Tekken. So Tekken's tournament is King of the Iron Fist. And we just kind of changed some nouns around.
It's beautiful.
So.
Hey, Vamos Monarchs, okay?
All right.
Always got the Monarch there. All right. It's a soccer team, but still, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, so you did one just the other night, right? That then turned in. Actually, was that a drunk stream the whole time, or did it turn into the drunk stream when you started playing?
It technically turns into a drunk stream. Don't tell people this. I'm almost always a little bit drunk when I'm commentating. It helps it flow better.
Yeah,
I mean something you might not hear from real professional commentators, mostly because they have two of them at least commentating all the big stuff like Evo and Combo Breaker, is there's two of them up there for a reason, and that's because if you're talking the entire time, your voice goes numb pretty fast. You start to run out of things to talk about, and there's a lot of dead air. So I find if I just have a PBR or something for breakfast before I start commentating, everything flows a little better. So
yeah, there we go.
Love it.
There we go. I mean, and you do a killer job too. So I
appreciate that.
Yeah, I pop them on when you do those, if available. Usually I'm home. What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
And there's just all this. I don't understand. We had Brandon on a while back. My buddy Brandon he's an esports coach for a high school over in Wisconsin and everything, and he's big in the esports scene. And he kind of taught us the training regimen for esports players, for like Overwatch and stuff like that. But you do the tournaments, and you've also been in tournaments. Like how do you, besides is it just playing the game to become better at fighting games? Or like what do you have anything that you do? Do you focus on a specific character, a specific set of characters, or what?
Yeah, so actually this is something I could talk about way too much. But
we got time.
Fighting games have a reputation, right, as kind of a difficult genre to get into. I feel like that's kind of something newcomers always think about. Because it's like, one, fighting games are very weird. When you compare them to something like a shooter or even something that's more similar in style, like an action game where you're theoretically punching and blocking in turns, like a Dark Souls, it doesn't really flow the same way. Because when you're playing a single player game or like a player versus player shooter, you kind of always know what you're supposed to do. Like it's either, I should attack here or do this combo here, or if I turn this corner, I should aim here and get ready to headshot here if someone peeks, etc. In fighting games, it's not really so obvious. You have to start learning about stuff like frame data. You have to learn about all the characters' different strings, the different things you can do, defensive mechanics, offensive mechanics, and it all kind of layers on top of each other in this really interesting way. And when you start to learn it and take it online, you realize that maybe the things you've learned don't really work out super well against new players, or they work super well against brand new players, but as you get to an intermediate level, it stops working completely. So as far as like training and thinking about what to do, you kind of have to take it in steps. So for me specifically, I made, and if you'll give me a brief second here, I think I have it somewhere.
By all means.
Nearby. Well, I can't seem to find it, but I have a notebook that I actually wrote down before my first big tournament, which was Frosty Faustings. Ooh. And in that notebook, what I had done was I played a bunch of Tekken matches, and Tekken's probably the game I'm the best at. I don't want to say very good at Tekken, but I'm pretty okay at Tekken. And what I did was I played a bunch of matches, and then I went through the replays for every single one of those matches, for every single matchup in the game. So I don't know how many characters there even are, 26 characters or something like that. And I wrote a page for like counterplay and things to do and what to watch out for every single character matchup that there was, just based on the replays that I saw. So it can get kind of in depth when you're preparing for stuff like that. Whereas for the tournament, it's much easier. I just turn on the stream and I make the other people fight and I talk about it, and it's great fun.
And the most thing that you have to explain is go into this lobby. Boom.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There is a slight difference with commentating, and something I learned because Monarch of the Steel Rose, we do all kinds of different fighting games. It's like not just Tekken. We've done Granblue, we've done Street Fighter, we've done Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah, I know the most recent one is right here in my mind because the poster is just Clive from Final Fantasy 16. Ben Starr. God, that man.
Excellent voice actor. So good.
God. Yeah. Beautiful man. But yeah. There's Tekken 8.
Yeah, so we play a ton of different fighting games, and a lot of those fighting games I don't know a ton about. Like Granblue, I didn't know a ton about. So some preparation I actually did have to do was like go learn like the bare bones basics about Granblue, which works for a community tournament like mine, where there's a lot of newcomers, there's a lot of people who don't play fighting games watching. It's kind of like an introductory arena for people to kind of see what the tournament scene is like. But for someone like Sajam or Yipes or Tasty Steve, who do these big real commentary blocks at the large events, like for example, Sajam took every single character in Street Fighter to master rank so he could understand what he was talking about during his commentary and stuff like that. Like that was not for him to compete. That was not for him to do anything special or gain any reputation. He just wanted to like understand the characters better so he could commentate better. So it can get kind of deep on that end too.
Jesus, there's a lot apparently that goes into it that I wouldn't even think of. I was kind of just like, okay, yeah, you've got, it's Tekken, so let's just pick Hayachi. I'm just gonna play with Hayachi and learn all of his combos. Boom, I'm good. I was wrong, Mike. I was wrong.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mike. Mike, I failed you again.
No, you didn't.
You're right.
You just learned a valuable lesson.
I did. And that's what this show's all about. Learning lessons. Mm-hmm. Like how fighting games work. Square root of pi, which is crust, actually. And,
it really is.
Other things that I forgot. I've forgotten the lessons. We've had a lot. And we've had a lot.
Learned them so well, they're like implanted in your brain inherently now.
I can't bring them back because they're already in the archive. They're already here.
Yeah, exactly. You just, it's the stuff, it, but you cannot immediately recall it. Yeah. It'll pop to the surface when the time is right, though.
It's like, I know how to get somewhere in my car, can't tell you how to get there.
Exactly.
I just go in the car and I do this. I've crashed.
You're there.
Don't drive like this, kids. It's not a good way to drive.
No, don't.
But I was actually, I was going to segue. It was going to be a smooth segue real quick.
Oh.
I have so many memories and so many lessons that I've learned in here because this is our 1 year episode 52.
Oh,
let's
boom,
go.
1 year.
Hell yeah. This is amazing.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, most podcasts don't make it past 5 episodes. I didn't look that up. I'm just assuming. So the fact that we're at 52, actually 54, but there's 2 that we don't really count for it. The fact that we're at 52, a full year. Here we go. Fuck yeah, Mike, we did it.
That's
High five.
Awesome.
We fucking did it.
Congratulations, you two.
Rose, get in here on the high
Thank
five. You can get in here on the high five. Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
There we go. Boom.
Beautiful.
We did
My
it.
camera's off center, so
That's fine.
No
Mine
choice.
probably is too, I think.
Whatever.
Mine doesn't match up with the Dell logo on the bottom of the monitor, and it annoys me. But
yeah, I can't like high five my webcam because I've got a business card acting as like a hood, so the light doesn't wash me out.
I see.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean to flip this podcast too much, but I'm curious. In 1 year of podcasting, because podcasting is something I've had a tangential interest in. I have thought about starting my own podcast before, as I think a lot of people have over the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
When we're just at home not doing anything else.
Exactly. So 2 questions. One, what big lesson did you learn? Because now I'm curious. And I know you said you couldn't bring them back to your brain.
Yeah.
But if there was just one that came out. And then 2, what are you all most proud of over the year?
Mike, do you got something?
The big thing I've learned is being co-host on a podcast kicks ass. So I had 2 podcasts before this that ran into like a couple hundred episodes each. One of them was a D&D playthrough podcast. The other one was just a general car podcast. And I was host, producer, editor, social media manager, everything for those. And man, that sucked wearing that many hats and having to do everything. But just being able to come on here, get hammered and do precious little prep beforehand.
Call it good after that.
It's great, I just come in here, ask a couple key questions, and it's good to go. No, seriously, it is awesome because I don't have to worry about driving it. I can, pop in, ask questions that, me as a listener would enjoy, getting an answer to. That, we're seeing hey, Robert's just kind of glossing over something here, or he totally missed this thing that could be really interesting. And, I go in there and ask a question that could be really cool or, could land like a turd in a punch bowl. But hey,
Yeah, I think the biggest lesson that I've learned, is going to sound fucking silly and stupid, is just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
That's literally it. So Mike and I, almost 2 years ago now, talked about starting a podcast, and it was just going to be an audio thing and everything. And we took a while to start even getting to the point where we recorded something.
Mm-hmm.
And
even then,
we recorded and everything, and then some stuff happened in my personal life, had a bit of a breakdown, whatever, we came back. But then I came back to Mike and I was like, hey, do you want to try this again, but do a video podcast and kind of do more with it? And he was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And we kind of talked about names and stuff. We picked the name Story Motors because it's, a play on story mode, difficulty in video games, and how I'm terrible at video games. So I put everything on fucking story mode, including Goaty! Metaphor!
Let's go.
Yeah. And yeah, Story Motors podcast. And we're just let's just do it. We'll record once a week. Let's do it. And kind of, almost at the beginning, it's let's do it and see how long we kind of have this, this interest. And now it's a year later. And
here we are.
We wouldn't be here if we weren't just what, fuck it. Let's pick a day of the week that we can record. We could just say, hey, this is going to be our normal thing. Mm-hmm. And now it is probably the thing that I look forward to most every week. Yeah. Is being able to come on here with Mike, with a kick-ass guest like you. Sometimes it's just Mike and I just bullshitting, but yeah. That is literally just
awesome.
Do it.
Oh yeah. Hold on, I gotta pull up we've done so many episodes. I gotta pull up the doc 52. Of everything that we've done.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track.
Y'all letting me hijack this into the Rose podcast within the Story Motors podcast where I ask you questions.
It's funny you say that. When I said that there's 2 episodes that we don't count for this, 1 week last year, Mike was out of town on vacation. So instead of a Story Motors podcast, I did kind of a one-off, almost backdoor pilot podcast of a music thing with my buddy Gage. So that was one of the 2 episodes that's not number 52. The other one was just a little 12-minute thing for around Christmas, and we're like, nobody is watching and listening because they're all off. So hey, Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you saying hijacking it and turning it into the Rose podcast. Cool. Here you go. Here's your first podcast. Look at that. You did it.
Congratulations.
I appreciate y'all being my first guests.
Hey.
Yeah. But what I'm
glad to be here.
While Mike looks, what I'm most proud of is one, being on that schedule and actually sticking to it for a year, because it's hard as shit to stick to anything for a month, let alone a year. And two, just some of the cool ass guests that we've gotten so far. You know, we had Remy Sue from Sunset Visitor, the developers of 1000 Times Resist, and
that was the one I was listening to today.
Yeah, Remy is cool as shit. And every time that we have a guest on, I'm always like, oh, this is gonna be, you know, especially like with Remy, he's a fucking game developer. He leads a studio, and I'm like, this is gonna be like we have to be serious and professional. And then we're 5 minutes in, and we're fucking talking about the Michael Bay memes and the Linkin Park song because Remy brought it up. You know,
it got off the rails real quick.
Yeah, but it was just fun. You know?
Oh yeah. Man.
Actually, speaking to what you mentioned with doing a schedule, that was my biggest thing because I had dabbled in streaming for a little bit, like probably right when COVID started, but I didn't really take it seriously until like 2023. And the thing that I was like, I'm going to take it seriously now was getting on a schedule. I was like, I need to pick 3 days to start. We'll do 3 days, do Monday, Thursday, Sunday. And then 2 years later, I'm still doing Monday or Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I got the dates wrong because I've been doing it so long. And that just helped a ton with consistency. Because before it was like, oh, I guess I'll stream, but I don't know. I don't know if anyone's going to enjoy it. We'll see. And I was like, oh, if I'll just stream on like a random Monday. And if people don't tune in, I would get super sad. And I'm like, okay, well, let's change that. Let's do every week. I'm going to do these streams. And then people can expect some sort of consistency at the very least. Yeah. And it'll be less, like the numbers won't jump around as much for me, which was great. So
until Andy Cortez raids you with 300 people, and then the numbers are going to spike.
And I was like, oh, the game's changed now. So.
But Mike, what were you looking something up there?
Yeah, so I was looking, like, the thing we're, you know, like, most proud of, it's not, like, specifically, like, one episode or anything. It's just the guests that we've had. And just, like... So this is like... I am somehow tangentially connected to, like, the Kinda Funny Best Friends, even though I have watched precisely one Kinda Funny stream. And yet
he
somehow
texted me, it was last week, he texted, he's like, I'm watching Kinda Funny Games daily, and I was like, welcome to the cult.
Yeah, that was like the only time I watched it. But yeah, no, it's cool. Like, we've had so many of these different guests. I mean, from Dex, Neo Aoshi, Jesus, like, so many of these people who are now just like, they're not just guests, they're like friends. They're people I regularly raid and, you know, go into their chats when I'm hammered and say wild out of pocket shit.
I slept in a bed with Verum Dex.
Jealous.
Yeah.
Damn it.
A bunch of us shared a room for the Game Awards, and we had 3 beds for 5 people. It was 2 beds and a couch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I remember those days.
Dex and I are like, fuck it, we'll go into this room and we'll share this bed. And it was, you know, by the time we got back from the Game Awards, it's 3 a.m.
Yeah. And
so I just fall down on the bed and I fall asleep. And the next night I was hammered, so I just fall on the bed and fall asleep. It's like, you know, whatever. Just sleeping on a bed. Well, you got half a bed.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how it is at conventions, too. Now, granted, a ton of fan fictions start out this way. They're like, we went to the hotel and there was only one bed. We gotta share.
Whoa. Yeah.
But that's not reality, so.
Yeah.
Not reality, that's what you say. Ask Dex, okay? No, he won't admit to it. I've got... So every week when we're recording, I have a TV just right here that I just have something on for movement from a monkey brain. And right now it's Neo Aoshi's chat or stream. Neo is playing Kingdom Hearts 2 for the first time. And Dex is his like Sherpa, because Dex is a big Kingdom Hearts guy. and I'm in the middle of Mike talking. Neo does this thing where he has a camera that just is his face. So it just cut to Neo's face on my big TV. And I looked over and just saw his eyes, and I was like, the fuck? Oh my god, don't do that. Why are you doing that, Neo? But yeah, I mean, if you... I think you definitely have the audience to do some sort of podcast, whether it's weekly, monthly, whatever. You definitely have an audience that will tune in. Talking about fighting games, talking about Gunpla, because you got all that in the background. I don't understand any of it. Mike is over here fucking salivating.
Mike is looking at stuff that he almost maxed out a credit card to buy, but then, had the wherewithal to not. Or,
the only difference is I didn't have the wherewithal to not do that. So,
listen, Sad Boy Mike has routinely gone over to MRS Hobby, shout out to them, and dropped a couple $100, or like $200-300, because he was feeling sad, and the only thing that was going to make him feel better was plastic crack. And so,
exactly.
Yup. Oh man.
So, Mike, I think you would probably be able to have some more questions about this, because I'm like, robots, which one's the best robot? I don't know what their names are. Do they have names? Yeah. We did a whole fucking episode.
By the way, it's the God Gundam. That's the best one. Yes,
God
Gundam. Fair enough.
Either that or Bear Guy, one of the two.
Oh yeah, I don't have any bear guys. I only build cool robots.
Oh!
Fuck
you, Mike!
How fucking dare I start collecting the Bear Guy family? All right, fuck me.
No, bear guys are super cool. Bear guys are adorable. Super cool.
They're adorable. I love them. No, so I'm just in awe, specifically of GPO3 over your right shoulder.
It's C3PO, and he's not there.
Yep. So because that was a white whale for so many people in our local Gunpla group. Like,
I use the box as a stand, like a table almost right next to my computer now, because it's so big, and I have a bad habit of keeping all the boxes.
I did the same until I moved in with my girlfriend, and she's like, absolutely not. You can keep the unbuilt models or the boxes, but not both. And so I tried to give away the boxes to people in the local group, but they're just like, we don't need them. And I'm like,
we already have these.
Yeah. So then me having a very sad, somber walk over to the dumpster at my old apartment.
No.
Nobody wanted them. It was so sad. I was going to make a collage. Have that as a background, but
that's
it didn't
what
happen.
I want to do, especially with this is video game related, but all of the Metal Gear kits have this really cool like metallic glossy finish, and I really want to cut out the tops of all of them and then frame them like photos.
Oh yeah,
I think that would be cool.
That would be great.
I have to like put effort into that.
Yeah, it's so much. It's way more of a pain than you think.
Yeah.
Because I used to, in this basement apartment I had like a straight up like collage wall. And man, making sure everything was in the right place was just such a pain. It took me a month to get it up, and then I looked at it and like, I fucking hate this. But I can't go back.
I did this in an afternoon, and I'm like, I'm never adding anything or removing anything. It's done.
I mean, I hung up these...
No, it covers all the wall space. It's like perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I got the Christmas lights.
I have the corner chair. Whenever I say something really stupid and Mike says go to the corner, I've got the corner chair.
That's called the corner chair?
Yeah, this is just another chair that just holds up my vest. But
oh, nice. Okay.
Different from the corner chair. It's smaller, it's shorter, it's more sad. Yeah, and the other thing, and honestly, I was like, God, I hope she does not take this out of the background for the podcast for some reason or another. But Hideo Kojima just being in the background at all times. It's beautiful.
This was like single-handedly one of my greatest purchases, like as far as growing my stream. There are so many people that come in and they're like, is that Hideo Kojima in the background? I'm like, yeah, it's Hideo Kojima. That's why we're playing Metal Gear. I love the Metal Gear franchise so much. It just made such a good fit, and then people love to talk about it. That's a big thing is That's why a lot of this stuff is in the background, is because people see it and then they want to talk about it. And I know it's like kind of like engagement farming a little bit.
What?
That's
it's like that same style, but
you're creating content. We're creating content. That's kind of the whole point, is trying to farm some engagement. It's
exactly
when it boils down to it. That's why we make a weekly podcast, because we just fucking love to do it. And we love to talk to cool ass people. But the reason we put it on YouTube and Spotify is because we want people to watch it, enjoy it, and engage with it. So,
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you got to do a little bit of marketing. And so like everything, and I used to do this with my selfies too, when I used to do a lot of selfies on Twitter and stuff, was like everything in the background was like very deliberate a lot of the time. So it's like all of these swords, Devil May Cry, Guilty Gear Strive, Kojima, all the gunpla, the fanfy, like it's all very deliberate like that. The pile of PBR cans down there. And that's like a big thing, is like when you're an artist, and this is going to sound conceited a little bit, but you have to like work with your canvas, right? You might as well use the whole space. So
there you go. Yeah. Very true.
So I have a broken door on my wall,
Yeah.
Oh. Does it have stuff drawn on it too?
Yeah, it's got signatures and probably some blood on it from a hardcore wrestling show. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and the poster underneath is for it's a signed, you can't really see the signatures because it's a smaller poster. Signed poster for Effie's Big Gay Brunch, a big event that happens every year around WrestleMania, and Effie runs it. And that poster is signed by everybody that's on it, including the people that weren't even on the fucking show. So,
hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Plus, Effie's just cool as shit. Everybody follow Effie. Follow Rose, and then follow Effie. He also streams. He is streaming, I think he's streaming tonight, and the stream is called See You NXT Tuesday. It's
something.
Tuesday. Yeah. He's watching NXT. It's a wrestling. Yeah, so we like wrestling here. I do, at least. Mike says he does.
Started getting into wrestling like very recently. I started watching. What did I watch? I watched some New Japan Pro Wrestling events. I watched,
hell yeah!
Is it Wrestle Kingdom 17 was the newest one? Yeah.
Yes!
I watched that.
Did you see Kenny Omega's fucking entrance?
Yeah, that's why I watched it. But then the whole event was pretty good, so...
Yeah. Wrestle Kingdom is one of the best shows every year. New Japan is just cool as shit. And I don't know how much you've looked into it. New Japan Wrestling has been in... I think some Tekken games, actually. They had a whole crossover.
Oh,
yeah, and they had a whole merch crossover too. It was like AEW. Well, it's AEW, New Japan, and Tekken. And then a bunch of New Japan guys were in, I think, Yakuza 6. Like actually in the game. Kenny Omega was in Yakuza Ishin, or like a Dragon Ishin is like one of the characters you can like summon in your battle or whatever. But yeah, New Japan Wrestling is in a bunch of Japanese video games. A lot of Sega stuff, mostly. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, actually, speaking of Kenny Omega, he has commentated before for fighting games, which kind of brings it back around, I guess. And I always thought that was really cool, because that's a neat way to... Because I feel like the wrestling and fighting game overlap is like very similar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like to a huge extent. And so it makes a lot of sense to just bring in wrestling folks to do celebrity events like that. So it's very cool.
Yeah, actually, he did. This has been a few years now. I think it was actually before COVID hit. There's a wrestler in WWE called Xavier Woods who has a YouTube channel called Up Up Down Down. Yeah. They do a ton of fighting game stuff, like a ton of fighting game tournaments and everything. And like I said, a few years ago now, he's in a group called The New Day with another couple of wrestlers, and they were all always on the channel playing video games in WWE. And because they're in WWE, they can really only interact with people in that same company. Well, they did a little thing a few years back where they did a fighting game little mini tournament against Kenny Omega and his friends, and we were able to put it on the channel. And then this AEW company started, and that fucking cut off. But Kenny Omega was a massive shit talker, and then he backed it up, which was pretty funny. So, if you shit talk, you got to back it up.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's like a huge part of... I don't want to say it's a huge part of fighting game culture because I think that's maybe the wrong lesson to take. But there's a lot
Lesson
of egos.
52, you know?
Yeah. There's a lot of ego in fighting games, and I'm generally a pretty chill person, but I've been known to like occasionally in a close match, I'll like pop off or something on stream. I'll like slam my hands against the chair or something, and that's not normally my style. But there's something about fighting games that gets really like not even heated, but it's just like intense. The intensity is really high, and I do think like healthy shit talking is actually kind of fun. That might be my hot take, but I think a little bit of healthy shit talk is fun. Something I learned when I went to Frosty Faustings, which I actually really enjoyed. So I've done like local tournaments before, competed in them, and everyone's super kind at those.
I'm assuming you're winning every single one of them, right?
No,
100% every single one of them.
Yep. And everyone like really wants everybody else to do good. Like everyone's really friends. But when I went to this big tournament, it was the first time I played against someone in person whose like friends who were watching wanted me to lose. And they wanted me to lose like really bad. So it was just like you got to hear some of that banter, or like whenever like there's something visceral about when you make a mistake and hearing your opponent's friends like pop off in the background, that like it's heartbreaking, but it also like it builds a fire in you. And I think that's always a really cool part of fighting games.
We
the fight, I guess.
My friends and I refer to it as chirping when we're at soccer games.
Yeah.
And we're so the Vamos Monarchs, it's a soccer team, a local team here in Utah. Though there's Real Salt Lake, the upper whatever.
Yeah.
But we do something very similar where we stand right behind the goal. So we're right behind the other team's goalkeeper, and we're just shit talking him through the entire fucking game. And anytime he does anything, we're commenting on it and trying to get into his head. And I did not realize that there would be people doing that at a fucking fighting game tournament.
Oh.
I get the shit talking between the people that are, going against each other. And there's always that you can do shit talking and be good about it, and it's, I hate to use the term good-natured because typically that's just like, oh, you didn't do as good. No, you can shit talk people, but when the match is over, be like, hey, good job.
Yeah.
But I'm just like a local fighting game tournament, and dude brings a fucking posse.
Yeah. No, it was the craziest thing. My opponent... Okay, so first of all, he plays Brian, which if you know anything about Tekken, Brian is like this hyper-aggressive character, and everyone who plays him kind of has this reputation for being a little bit mean. And that was not... This person was a great, kind person, but he brought his baby, too. So, like, before he kicked my ass, he hands off his baby to like his wife or whatever.
Oh, my kid!
Like, here, hold this real fast. I gotta beat this kid's ass at Tekken.
It feels like a crime.
Yeah, but no, I love that stuff. I thought it was so cool.
Oh no! Yeah. Oh, it's a great.
I don't have much time to practice because I got this baby. Hold it.
Hold on.
Done. What
Hold
up?
this baby real fast.
That's how good I am.
Gotta kick Rose's ass. No, it was solid stuff though, and that's so. I used to play varsity tennis in high school because I'm 6'5". Tennis was like my forte. Serves are nasty when you're 6'5", right? Especially if you get a little jump serve on there.
Jesus Christ!
That almost seems like cheating, but
exactly.
If I saw you across the court and it was your serve, I'd be like, I'm done.
I used to hit this real nasty one where it was on the ad side and you hit it right to the outside corner, and I'm talking tennis lingo too much now, but it can like hit inside the service box and then it would hit the fence on our courts. Like I would always ask to play on the corner court because we were the #1 doubles team, so we got to pick which court. But like, give me the corner court because I could hit the service box and then it would go right into the fence before it would bounce a second time, and it would just be our point. It was
amazing.
So great.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we used to do that all the time too. It's like, so the way tennis worked in high school was there were 7 teams and you were ranked. And there were 3 singles players and 4 doubles teams. And you were ranked like 4-1 and then 3-1 for singles, right? And all of those played at mostly the same time, with the exception of number 3 singles would always be delayed a little bit, just because they would like have singles run last for whatever reason, because it takes less time than the doubles do. So what we would do every time is all of our matches would finish, and we would run up, and we would just like all line up and like shit talk the other team.
Hell yeah.
Or the other guy while they were waiting for their match to finish. And it was incredibly toxic, but also really fun. So
high school kids.
Ah,
High school kids are assholes. Still.
man.
I don't know if you guys are aware of this. High school kids still suck. All right?
Yeah.
And now they have
high
social
school
media.
Teacher.
Yeah,
Trust me.
Yeah.
I hear the stories.
She comes home. One of my students just shot the other one today. Why? Just did it. Teacher gave him the gun. It's crazy. We live in a fucked up country. That's what I'm trying to say here. It's an allegory.
Yes.
Fuck is an allegory. It's not allergy, right?
I don't know.
Allegory is like Plato's cave, right? Was that an allegory?
I don't know how to play with Plato anymore. I'm an adult.
Oh,
Rose.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
Plato's a philosopher. I know that. I'm not dumb. I'm kind of dumb. But
Plato also means broad in ancient Greek, so there were recorded times where he would be...
Whoa.
He was fucking, like, yoked. So there would be times where somebody was making a salient point and he would just flex at him.
That's crazy. Wait, no, that'd be... No, that's good, because I think being buff...
Oh.
like... You can win a lot of arguments that way, right? Especially if you're a philosopher. Like, people start trying to tell you about life or something, and you're like, I'm way more jacked than you.
It's like, oh yeah?
Your opinion does not matter.
Yeah, it's just like, it's one of those, it's just like, you're making an excellent point, but check out these fucking lats, you know?
Right? I should do that in fighting game tournaments. I need to start getting jacked, so then I can just like walk up in a tank top, and they're intimidated off the rip.
There it is.
If I was in any tournament that wasn't potentially not a basketball, that's the only one. Any tournament and somebody walks up with a tank top, immediate like, okay, yeah, they've got skills. It's like if you're confident enough to rock up with a fucking tank top, you're confident in something, you know.
That's a level of confidence I aspire to.
Yeah. Yeah. But then if you go back and they get into the parking lot and they're driving a Cybertruck, then you're like, never mind, they're a piece of shit.
No, that's when we throw eggs at them. Expensive eggs.
Yeah.
You got $12 for a dozen of eggs to throw at a Cybertruck? There's got to be cheaper ways.
I got $12 for an egg. If I can get a dozen eggs for $12, holy shit. Come on.
So the other things I'd throw at a Cybertruck constitute felonies, so...
Fair.
God, those things are so ugly.
Okay, tangent on a tangent on a tangent.
Yes.
I went to Costco yesterday.
I'm going to get a beer. Be right back.
You do that. We parked, like, in a stall adjacent to one, and oh my god, like, there is no redeeming angle for those damn things. They're just terrible.
They always, and I don't know if it's like I hesitate to call it a positive, but like the fact that you can see how ugly it is from a distance, like, there's probably teams of marketing squads that wish that they could get a silhouette that recognizable, except it's because it's ungodly ugly. So
there are people just like designing like 3 generations down the road of whatever car. They're just like, we want this kind of recognition, but not for being terrible.
But like good. You know?
Yeah.
Like a Coke bottle, not a Cybertruck.
Exactly.
Exactly. Just something recognizable, but not god-awful.
I knew it was ugly and hadn't seen one in real life until obviously, like, you know, sometime last year.
Oh,
and then when I saw my first one in real life, it was at my office. Somebody in the building bought one, because of course they did. A lot of salespeople, and they love Cybertrucks. I did not realize how fucking massive those things are.
Oh,
but somebody took a toy car and put it underneath the laser from Honey, I Blew Up the Kid kind of way.
Yeah.
You know? Like it shouldn't be that big, but it is.
when you stretch something out in Microsoft Paint and it doesn't quite look right,
Yeah.
like the pixels are weird. That's what
like
it
it's
looks like.
bigger, yeah, but is it better?
It's just like it's real wonky. Like that's putting it lightly. Just
All right.
Man.
Tangent on a tangent on a tangent. Podcast within a podcast. It's the first episode of the Rose Waltz podcast with her guests, Robert and Mike.
I mean,
it's been going well so far. I can't complain.
Hell yeah.
Rose, we're in a freeze frame.
Oh.
Beautiful.
20 more seconds. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not doing that shit.
All right. Well, Rose is still in a freeze frame. Ah!
I could have held that for a long time.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So let's do this real quick. I'm going to transition over here to, and once again, you guys, you two can't see my OBS, so
No,
I've got this on the screen. The stream, your tournament from the other day, Monarch of the Steel Rose, number 12. Holy shit! I did not realize it was number 12.
Yeah, 1 year of Monarch.
So you do these like monthly? Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. And you said it's not always. So this one was Tekken 8, right?
Correct. But it can be a little bit of everything. Originally, we were doing it in blocks. So like the first 3 were Tekken, and then the next 3 I think were Street Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But we abandoned that idea because new characters come out for fighting games super often. So like for example, Mai Shiranui just came out in Street Fighter 6, so our next one's going to be Street Fighter 6. We're just riding the coattails of whatever's hot right now. So
might as well. I mean, especially with something like this, I think it fits. You know, it's not, Monarch of the Steel Rose Tekken tournament specifically. Like you can do different fighting tournaments. So how I've seen the online here for Tekken 8. So how do you go about setting up a tournament? Is there like a website? Is there something that makes it easy? Is it a big old pain in the ass?
Yeah.
How much work do you have to do for this? Because it seems like a lot of work.
The standard that a lot of tournaments use is a website called start.gg, which used to go by a different name that I don't remember the name of. And then it got bought, and I think it just recently got not bought anymore. And they're like independent again. I can't remember. In any case, it's this website that lets you set up a tournament. So it gives you like a page where you can write all your stuff down. And I don't bother with that. I just write one sentence. I'm like, this is a tournament. And then you can set up events. And that lets you go through and like pick the game you want to play, the platforms people can play on, whether it's online or offline. And you can set up stuff like if you want your competitors to like register their Discord so that they join your Discord channel, or like register their Blue Sky account or something like that. Like you can have these kind of social integrations. And then what it does is it'll like handle all of the registration, and then you can do like manual seating or you can do random seating, and then it'll set up the bracket for you as well. So like all the brackets and everything are already set up, like all ready to go. I won't lie, it's not the most easy website in the world. It's notorious for not really loading when you need it to. It takes a few minutes for scores to be entered, for the event to be finalized, stuff like that. But for the most part, it works really well. People can track all of their tournament entries and stuff on there, and I think it's mostly the standard. And then within the games themselves, you just kind of have to set up the matches based on what the brackets are. So for Tekken 8, the easiest way for us to do it is to just go to a Tekken lobby that no one's in and just run the matches at one of the cabinets. It's just the easiest way. It's easier than trying to get people into a lobby over and over and then possibly getting a spectator bug, which is a huge issue with Guilty Gear Strive. Guilty Gear Strive, if you've not seen the layout for the online, everyone has to make their little avatars, and they have to play like Club Penguin to get around and get to the different cabinets and stuff, and it's awful. Like, there's no menu system for stuff like that. So there's also a bug where occasionally spectating won't work on a match. So like for Guilty Gear Strive, it's really cumbersome. You have to make a room. You can only have up to 8 other people in the room, which means you can only run 4 matches simultaneously. And then you have to set them so that they get kicked off the cab after every match, so they can't rematch. And you have to re-spectate every time just so that you don't get the spectator bug and mismatches. So per game, it is mostly good now. Like Street Fighter's super clean, Grand Blue's super clean, Tekken for the most part is super clean. It's just Strive that is really cumbersome. But luckily, all the legwork of like the overhead administrative stuff is handled by Start GG, so you don't have to worry about that.
And so when it comes to actually doing the tournaments in games, would you say Tekken 8's probably the easiest?
Yeah, Tekken 8's probably the easiest because thanks to the lobby system, we don't actually have to use a room, and rooms in Street Fighter are pretty okay. And then when we ran Grand Blue, we also ran it in an open lobby like Tekken. But generally, they're all pretty easy as long as it's not Guilty Gear Strive.
So what games have you done so far? So this is number 12. It's Tekken 8. Once again, poster, Clive,
so
Ben Starr.
We've done, We've done, and I can probably look up which ones I've done because I'm starting to not remember now after a year. We've done 4 Tekken 8 ones. We've done 3 Guilty Gear Strive ones, 3 Street Fighter ones. How many is that? 4, 3, 3. A Grand Blue one, and then I can't for the life of me remember what the other one was. It might have been a 4th Strive one.
I might be thinking of something else. Did you do a Smash Brothers one? No?
So I haven't done Smash Brothers because I don't know anything about platform fighters. So that's one of the situations where I'm like, I don't know how to commentate this. So I don't really feel comfortable doing a tournament for it until I learn, so.
Or does one of these games have like a lobby that almost looks like? I don't know why I'm thinking.
Yeah, so Guilty Gear Strives kind of looks like a platform fighter.
Okay.
Kind of a deal. It's really stupid. Everybody hates the lobby system.
Because let's see. I'm looking up on. Okay. Oh yeah, that's it. That's what I'm thinking of. The Guilty Gear Strive lobby. Because I don't know. I remember like tuning into one of the tournaments. And I remember that look, so I was thinking it was Smash Brothers, but that makes sense. But I remember specifically from that tournament, and I don't know if this is something that goes into every tournament or if it's just however many people sign up, is that you had people just being like, okay, you guys, we're going to watch this fight, but then you two do this fight and tell me who wins.
Yeah. So if enough people sign up, I do it that way because it saves a ton of time rather than streaming every single match. Up until we get to top 8, and then top 8 I stream every single match. Yeah. I just kind of do what the bigger tournaments do. So bigger tournaments do something called pools, which is basically like a bracket with a like wide range of people, and then that'll get narrowed down. And there'll be like separate pools that go at separate times, and maybe one of the pools will be on stream, but other ones won't be, kind of a deal. And it's just to save time, basically.
Yeah.
So that way, instead of the tournament taking 6 hours if I stream every match, it's maybe 3.
Okay. And then, I mean, this is probably a silly question, but why did you start doing these every month?
Yeah.
What was the impetus for that? Because we talked about earlier with, you're like, I've been thinking about maybe doing a podcast, kind of what's the thing? And we said, just do it. You did that with this. You just started doing tournaments, and they're fucking awesome. Like, what was it? Why did you want to make this type of, just be like, hey, we're just doing a community tournament. Cool. Come in here, and we've got this whole setup. I'm going to do, like shoutcasting, commentating, whatever you want to refer to it as. Yeah, why? Simple enough.
Yeah, so the biggest thing was I love fighting game tournaments. I think it's how a ton of people get into fighting games is from watching tournaments like Combo Breaker, Evo, CEO, what have you. Like everybody knows Evo moment, the one where Justin gets parried and Daigo wins with the Ken Super. Evo moment 37. Like that's a classic, right? And that came from like a big tournament. And these big tournaments have hype moments all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's constant. And that was how like one of my first streams that started to approach like the 100 viewers was rebroadcasting, I think, Evo or CEO one year. And I was like, oh, people enjoy watching this. They enjoy watching me freak out over how cool these moments are. And I'm like, I would love to do a tournament eventually, but I was terrified. I was like, I don't want to go to a local. I'm not good at fighting games. I don't think I'm very good at fighting games. I don't know if I'll be able to get good, etc. And then I was like, I wonder if other people are feeling this way too. And then it just all kind of fit together. I was like, me playing fighting games and watching tournaments have got a lot of people into fighting games. These players want to do these things that they've seen on tournaments and stuff and have people commentate their matches and show them what they're doing or like compete against other people at their skill level. And I can hold casual tournaments where the stakes aren't super high. So it all just kind of fit together where I was like, oh, I should just make my own tournaments. And then I also got to do casting, which is not like a dream job of mine or anything, but I've always thought it was really cool. And it's been a way for me to learn how to cast, and maybe one of these days I'll put together a commentary reel and send it out to Jabali or one of the TOs and be like, hey, is this anything? So
yeah,
there you go.
And it like doesn't cost me anything other than the prizes that I give out. Like, it's an extra Saturday stream, which I do once a month, which is not super taxing time-wise, and Start GG handles all the administrative stuff, so it's just a matter of me actually just loading up the game and having everybody get in the same room. So the like effort value for me is fairly low, all things considered, compared to like doing a big analysis video or something, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, these I'm seeing how you're kind of doing everything in here, and I'm like, this seems like so much work. All I do is look at this camera and press record, and then I'll go in later and just, fade in and out at the beginning, unless we have to cut something.
Yeah.
This seems like so much work.
I guess that's something I've kind of gotten used to over the time from streaming, is like, the tournaments themselves are not that hard. I just have to call out people's names and be like, hey, play your stupid match right now so I can talk over it. And I just have to like copy paste, like, here's the next match in Discord and the Twitch chat, because I don't know where people are. I don't require people to be in Discord or anything. I'm like, if they show up, they show up. If they don't show up, they don't show up. No big deal. Whereas like my actual streams, I feel like I have to do a lot more. Like, when I'm doing my actual streams, I put on makeup every time I stream. I take a selfie every time I stream. I have to make the stream title. I have to make sure the game is working, and most of the time I don't, and then it doesn't work, and we have to do troubleshooting for the first 15 minutes of the stream, and then like if I have an event stream, I have to do like an advertisement, whereas like for Monarch of the Steel Rose, my friend Chip makes all of the posters for it, so I just have to copy paste his poster and be like, hey, we're running this in a week. You should tune in or play. Yeah. So,
I mean, last week on last week's episode, we pulled up the poster for the tournament and kind of like hyped it up and stuff and shouted it out and everything. So,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was fucking great poster. I'm gonna say it a fucking third time. Yeah. Clive, Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Ben Starr, beautiful man. I met him. He almost hit me because I asked, but that's a story from the Game Awards, and it's a great one. But whatever. Yeah, met him. He was super cool. So when it comes to, I'm just looking now at the video, and there's just somebody doing a dance next to you as a shark.
Yep.
And now there's fighting. Tekken is weird.
Yeah, Tekken's really weird. There's also the Tekken ball system, which is, I don't know if y'all have ever seen it. It's like volleyball, but in Tekken.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's
I've
really
seen a different fighting game do a volleyball thing, but not Tekken. Yeah.
Yeah, Tekken's cool, but I don't know, this is kind of only semi-related. But like, since you mentioned it, or asked me probably about an hour ago now about the things I do to get into Tekken, or to like prepare for the tournaments and stuff, as far as competing, it got me thinking about like, Tekken is uniquely kind of I'm going to sound like a Tekken elitist here, but it's like uniquely kind of a difficult game compared to like 2D fighters. Now, granted, I'm really bad at 2D fighters. I'm not saying they're easy or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Tekken in particular is kind of difficult because I do have to write down all of these different counterplays because there are so many different interactions. And something that gets brought up a lot in Tekken specifically is balance changes. It's always a hot topic in Tekken, and it really is in every fighting game, but I think Tekken is uniquely difficult to balance.
Yeah.
Because not only is there the third dimension, but each character is like 100 different moves on average or so. All of these moves have different properties. There's 3 different kinds of hits. There's highs, mids, and lows.
There's only 4 buttons, Rose.
There are only 4 buttons. There's
8 if you...
each. Yeah. So Tekken only technically uses 4 buttons. 1 for each limb. Yeah. But the order you press them in and the direction you press before you press those buttons has a ton of different implications and interactions. And then you have like defensive stuff like ducking. You have defensive stuff like sidestepping or sidewalking. And then you have the different evasive properties that come in just like naturally to a lot of moves. Like this will make sense for the people who play Tekken, but like Nina's down forward 1 tracks very well to both sides, despite most characters down forward 1's not tracking. And so something as I was preparing for these tournaments was I was noticing I was like writing down a ton of niche interactions. I was like, oh, if I play against Jack 8 and I see him do like this specific wind-up move on reaction, if I react within like 10 frames of my average reaction time, I can sidestep it specifically to the left, but not to the right. And this is like something you have to do for all of Tekken. And I think it makes it uniquely difficult in a very weird way. And I know other fighting games also share these kind of very weird niche interactions, but preparing for Tekken just felt like a different beast as I was approaching that tournament for sure.
So is Tekken the only one that you've done a tournament like as you're playing, not just shoutcasting or commentating? Also, really quick, what is there a difference between shoutcasting and commentating?
I have no idea. I've actually never heard the term shoutcasting before.
Okay, because I hear shoutcasting. I think a lot from Snowbike Mike when he's talking about like League of Legends, but then he's like, "Oh, I did the shoutcasting for this," or for Marvel Rivals, and it just sounds like he's commentating. So I was just like, "Is that the same thing?" And it just got into my brain.
Yeah, I have no idea actually.
But yeah, like when you're besides commentating, because you love playing Tekken, are there other fighting games that you've gone to tournaments for, or are you like when I'm playing it's Tekken or maybe Street Fighter, but like when I'm commentating, I'll try to we'll do whatever fighting game.
Yeah, so like when I'm playing on stream, I play a variety of different fighting games. Like we've played all kinds. We've probably played like 25 different fighting games over the last 2 years or something like that. So we play a ton, and I've only ever competed in 3. My very first tournament, I competed in Tekken 8, Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising, and Guilty Gear Strive. And I learned almost immediately that if I wanted to take it seriously, I couldn't, like, as someone who's fairly new to fighting games within, like, the realm of relativity or whatever, like, fighting game has a ton of legacy knowledge, and I've only been playing for, like, 2 years or so, and a lot of these players have been playing for 10 plus years. And know how all these interactions work and stuff. So I learned pretty early on, I was like, if I want to like compete seriously at any level, I don't think it's feasible for me to try to learn 3 different games at a competitive level as someone fairly new to fighting games. So now it's just Tekken, but I did play other ones at first, and it was just a little too much for me.
Okay. Mike, do you have I don't know if you had a question in mind.
None of the questions I have are related to fighting games whatsoever.
Fair enough. Well, Mike, let me ask you then. What's your all-time favorite fighting game?
Street Fighter 2. Like, that's just one.
That's a safe answer, but okay.
Okay. Listen, it's the one I've played the most.
Yeah.
Sober and not. I mean, I remember one year up at Anime Bonsai, they had the game room, and I just held court at the Street Fighter 2 machine. It was great. It was awesome.
That's like a super old head answer. Like, I
Oh
don't even know
yeah.
if they still play Street Fighter 2 at tournaments. I feel like the farthest they go
Nobody.
back is Third Strike.
Yeah, no, nobody does.
They go back
Nobody
to Third
does.
Strike. I remember most of my Street Fighter memories from from the fighting game community and stuff is, I think a lot of people hated Street Fighter 4. Is that a thing? They're 4 or 5.
Yeah, so Street Fighter
Yeah.
actually goes through a few different.
Yeah,
It
A lot of
goes-
people hated 5 on launch, and a
Yep.
lot of people hated 4, kind of towards the middle and the end. So
Yeah.
it goes through phases.
Yep. That's always how it is. It's at least with the more modern ones. They hate whatever it is at launch because something's missing, something's broken, yada yada yada, leaving the fan base behind. And then things are brought up to fix it, and then people come to, I'm not going to say love it, they like it, they put up with it, and then a new one is announced, and then people get excited and then disappointed, and the cycle starts over again. And here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting games have a pretty nasty habit of new thing bad, old thing good.
Mm-hmm.
This comes up a lot in Tekken because a lot of people do not like how aggressive Tekken 8 has become, and they'll reference Tekken 7, and I don't want to get too into the nuances because I don't think it's super relevant to bring up like whether Tekken 7 or 8 is necessarily better, but a lot of people will be like,
Rose,
Tekken
get into whatever
7 wasn't
fucking
as-
nuance you want. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Go
is your
down whatever
podcast.
rabbit-
Okay.
Yep.
So a lot of people are like, Tekken 7 was way better. And personally, as someone who started with Tekken 7, I prefer Tekken 8 because in Tekken 7, it was a very like heavily defense focused, which I know people enjoy to an extent, but it was like overly defensive. Like you didn't even want to throw out lows because low parry combos were hugely damaging. So you just kind of sat around trying to step around each other, throwing out pokes, and as soon as your poke doesn't work, you KBD 3 screens away. And so to me, it's always kind of like everyone's got rose tinted glasses for the previous entry because they remember all their favorite things, and then they're interfacing directly with the things they don't like about the new ones. So
Yeah, I was looking up a picture when I was in LA in December, and one of the days I was able to go hang out with some friends of mine who used to live here in Utah, but they'd moved out to California. And I remember we went to a barcade, and I took a picture of the two of them playing a fighting game against each other, but I couldn't remember what it was. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Hey.
Street
hell
Fighter
yeah.
2 Champion Edition,
Champion
and they're just
Edition.
going back and forth with each other, and it was just for like 15, 20 minutes, they're just fighting against each other, going through different characters, and I took that picture, and it's a, I'll say it's an adorable picture, if I can pull it back up here, of just,
Yeah.
it's fucking video games. That's fighting games. That's a couple that is
Exactly.
in love, that
Yeah.
loves each other, and just like, fuck it, we're gonna beat the shit out of each other in
they
Street
played
Fighter 2.
fighting games together.
Yeah.
They have
Amazing.
they have a very good relationship if it
Yeah.
can withstand that.
So, Andy, Lily,
Love it.
I love you. And Lily, Diablo 4 is great. She works at Blizzard. So,
Oh, nice.
I have and as somebody who dabbles in fighting games, and by that I mean if it's on Game Pass, I'll install Mortal Kombat, play the story mode. I'm a story mode, to quote, it's the show.
Story Motors podcast.
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is. But like I like playing video games personally for the story. So if I'm in a fighting game, I will do the campaign or whatever it is. So one of the usually the best ones for me at least is Mortal Kombat. But I think for me even, I go back every couple of years to a Mortal Kombat game, and I feel like it's just the same game. But you're talking about Tekken 7 and Tekken 8, and how Tekken 7 is defense-based, and how Tekken 8 is more aggressive. Like, what are these differences? Are they not... I always just assumed, oh, we've got the engine, and now we're going to make it look prettier, and here you go.
Yeah, so this is where game balance and game specific mechanics come into play. So Tekken 8 in particular introduced something called the heat system, which is you can actually see it on the screen of your OBS. I don't know if this shows up in the podcast, but there's a little blue bar under the health bar, and that's the heat gauge. And when people are engaged in heat, or people have their heat engaged, I don't know how to conjugate that verb correctly, but when they're in heat, they
this bar right
get
here?
enhanced. Yeah, that blue bar right there.
Yeah.
So they get
this is in the
enhanced
podcast,
moves.
So, yeah.
Okay. And they also get to do chip damage on every single one of your moves. And for example, chip damage is new to Tekken. There was not chip damage in Tekken before, or at least in Tekken 7. I didn't play any of the older ones yet. And that has been very weird for a lot of people, because generally if you're blocking and playing defensive in Tekken, you're not punished for it under any circumstances. But in Tekken 8, you can't just sit there and get hit by stuff anymore and be blocking and be okay, because you'll just take a bunch of chip damage. And they also added something called, they call it white life or recoverable health. You can also see it on the stream there. It's that little like translucent part of the health bar.
Yeah.
On Heihachi's there. And that's another really weird thing. It's like generally when you do damage in Tekken, that's permanent. Like there's no way to get that back. But now when someone's in a combo or gets hit aerial, a portion of that damage becomes recoverable, which means you can recover it by hitting your opponent. So there's a lot of emphasis placed on being aggressive, attacking a lot. This is even more exacerbated by the fact that I mentioned low parries when talking about Tekken 7 earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Tekken's combo system. Oh, I'm gonna get too in the weeds. I'm sorry. Tekken's combo system is very strange. You have kind of like a structure to it. There's a launcher, which is when you launch your opponent up. Then you have combo filler. Then you have in Tekken 8, it's called a tornado move, or in Tekken 7, it was a spiral, I think. And what that does is
typically the same movement. Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll do is they'll kind of like catch in that combo and then reset it to like a specific state where you can then do a combo ender kind of a thing. And in Tekken 7, when you low parried, you would get an entire combo, which means you would get your low parry followed by combo filler, followed by a screw, which is what it's called in Tekken 7, not spiral, and then you would get your ender. Whereas in Tekken 8, that low parry that just happened right there, that counts as your tornado, which is the same as screw in Tekken 7. So all you get is kind of the last half of the combo, which means that you don't get punished as hard for throwing out lows that are predictable. So what this has done overall, these like small tweaks to a game that is ostensibly mostly the same. Like a lot of the characters have 80% of their move list is identical to what it was in previous entries. But with these slight little changes, suddenly doing things that you used to do in the previous entries, like just blocking really well or calling out a low, are no longer effective or like as useful or as punishing as they used to be. And it's just changed how people play the game.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's so really quick. Why the fuck is Wolverine here? That seems unfair.
Oh, that's Tekken's customization, yeah. Tekken has pretty okay customization. It used to be better in the older games, but I think Bandai Namco isn't happy when people say that, but
yeah, well, you know.
Earlier I saw the Green Ranger fighting. Like he's got superpowers. Not fair. So would you say, because you said, you know, about 80% of their moves are the same, and there's these differences in this. It almost sounds like that's why for me it might be it's the same game every time, but it looks prettier because I'm just fucking pressing punch, hit, punch, punch, hit. I win, cool. You know, like would you from Tekken 7 to Tekken 8? Because you said you haven't really gone back to play the other ones. Does it seem like a lot of these changes are more kind of geared towards like the professional or like tournament play as opposed to just somebody picking up the controller and playing it?
I would say a lot of Tekken 8 changes are actually the opposite.
Really?
I would say the heat system definitely benefits players who are newer to Tekken 8.
Yeah.
Just because the heat system is so...
I don't want to say a slur on here, but button masher. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Okay, don't cancel me. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But just because the heat system is kind of antithetical to how a lot of tournament players played the previous entries, kind of a thing. And I think if you follow tweets from like high-level competitors, like Arslan Ash struggled really bad when moving to Tekken 8 and has needed to take some time to kind of acclimate to how Tekken 8 plays now compared to Tekken 7, just because the like new mechanics are so wildly geared towards newer players, I guess, which is very interesting because Tekken is so much a legacy knowledge game.
Yeah.
Like, as I mentioned, a lot of the strings, a lot of the buttons, a lot of the moves are the same.
Cool intro.
They'll add moves.
Yeah. That Akira entrance was cool as shit. So.
Oh yeah, with Warang's such a cool character. So they'll add like a couple new moves here or there, but like for the casual audience, like these or the newer players, like they're not going to notice any of these changes. They're not going to notice that when Dragunov gets a full sidewalk into a back turn combo, the launcher is different in Tekken 8 than it was in Tekken 7, kind of a thing. So like there are these more minute changes that do affect tournament players, but I would say on the whole, the new game systems are kind of leaning towards helping newer players get in, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it seems like you're gonna have to, like, if you're making a new fighting game, you obviously want it to sell well, so you're gonna have to make it so it's people that only play the game to play the game, want to buy a new one as opposed to just I've already got Tekken 7,
Right.
God, is that a fucking ninja?
Probably.
Hayachi is a ninja now?
I
thought he was Wolverine.
Dressed up, yeah.
What the fuck?
So if there's one thing Tekken does kind of well compared to Street Fighter is like Street Fighter has their outfit system, of which I believe there are only 3 outfits for each character, I want to say. There might be 4 for the characters who came out on launch, but Tekken 8 gives you kind of it's like a dress-up flash game, essentially, where you get to put different coats and pants on. And it's worse in Tekken 8 than it was in previous entries, but it is still pretty far ahead of stuff like Street Fighter and whatnot.
Oh.
I'm trying to see here. Oh, there's Rose fighting. Oh, you were getting your ass
this
kicked.
is when that player was so good at low parrying. It was unreal. If this was Tekken 7, the matches would have ended like that. But thanks to Tekken 8's low parry difference, I don't get punished as hard for doing predictable lows.
So is this? So I'm trying to find maybe the end of the tournament. Is this the end of the tournament? Are you the final boss?
Yeah. So whoever
tribal
wins
chief?
the tournament,
Mike, acknowledge her, tribal chief.
Is that a Roman Reigns reference?
Rose, you're great. Come onto this fucking show anytime you want to.
Yes.
Okay. I would pull up the little Roman Reigns figure that I have right here, but he's inside of my computer. So as a little decoration in my computer tower.
You've got him locked up in jail.
Yeah. It's in the Uso Penitentiary. That's another wrestling thing.
Hey.
But yeah, I'm the secret boss for whoever wins the whole tournament. They've already won. But I thought it would be fun if I just played them at the end. Like, you know how arcade modes in fighting games have a secret boss if you do really well?
Yeah.
I can't really highlight it with the mouse because it blacks out the top of it. But yeah, at the very top above the timer it says secret boss.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so
Okay.
if they beat me at the fighting game, they get an extra $5 on their prize pool.
So let's see here. Oh, no, that's the beginning of this one. So that was the final here. It was Lord Schlorp versus Floozy.
Yeah. Both newcomers to the tournament too. That's actually something I've noticed is we're getting newcomers, and a lot of the newcomers are like really good at the video game. Like both of these players are like on the right, Floozy is what is that rank? Tekken God Supreme, which is one away from the highest rank in the game. So I've noticed that a lot of people coming into the tournament are really good. And that's not something I don't want to like deter people who are too good. I think it's just been kind of weird because this started so much as like a small little community thing, and then it's just kind of like gained the outreach where more people are learning about it. And so I think my ideal goal is to eventually have like a beginners and an open bracket.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
I just don't have enough entrants to do it now. But
it kills Lord Slorp.
Lord Schlorp.
Lord Schlorp.
So is this the final?
Amazing.
Final, looks like.
Yeah. Does it say grand finals reset at the top?
Yeah.
So this is after the reset.
Oh, what was the reset? Did they fuck up?
So
did they fuck up?
No, reset is one of the most hyped things that you can have in a fighting game tournament. So because tournaments are typically double elimination, what happens is you'll have someone in the grand finals who never dropped a game or a set the entire match, and they would still have to be double eliminated. So if the loser wins a 1-3 set in the grand finals, it starts what is called a grand finals reset, which is when both players are now in the losers bracket, and it's just like kind of a final match,
like a sudden death type thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because now no one else is in the winners bracket. Everyone has lost at least one, so it's no one else gets double eliminated or anything. It's just is
that what the L's next to their name?
Yeah, so L means they're coming from losers bracket or in the losers bracket essentially.
So we have some there's some audio here. I don't have it too loud, but I just figured let's kind of play the final here. It looks like it's 2-2. So is it 2-2? Is it sets of 1-3?
Yeah, 1-3.
Okay.
So this is the final one here, and I do think Lord Schlorp takes it 3-0 if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Ooh.
Punished there.
There's Lord Schlorp. There's Wolverine. Once again, oh my god. No. He's got Wolverine things. The other dude's got a fucking eye patch. That's not fair at all, Rose.
Yeah, I know.
What kind of kangaroo court are you running?
Someone with adamantium claws or whatever. I don't know the X-Men lore very well, but
so Lord Schlorp is the winner of the Monarch of the Steel Rose number 12 tournament, and then went off to fight the secret boss, Rose Waltz. Did Lord Schlorp win?
Yeah. Lord Schlorp did win.
Ooh, okay.
Got $30 instead of $25 in that first place prize pool. So,
Hey.
But if you think Wolverine's unfair, my character just pulls out guns and shoots people. So
Well, that seems wildly unfair.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem right at all.
I don't know much about much, but man, that doesn't seem right.
Clive gets to use his big sword and his dog and all of his magic. So.
All right, so you having a gun's fine.
Yeah. But sometimes you fight against WoW rank like that character that Floozy was playing last round, who is just a what's the martial art? Taekwondo martial artist. So, and then there's a character who's just like a boxer. It's like they don't have guns or a sword or magic. So. But Steve does have a back one, which is one of the greatest counter hit launchers in the game, so it's all fair in the end.
Okay.
We'll because I need to ask about what the fuck is this game?
Oh, that's Anarchy Reigns. That is the spiritual sequel to Mad World, made by Platinum Games. I don't want to
turn the volume up too much because I don't know if we'll get claimed, but I remember going into the stream and I was watching this, and there was like the music playing during that weird driving level, or something, and I was just like, "What? This is?" I think I said this is the greatest and worst video game music of all time.
Oh.
It's this and Mad World have really wild soundtracks. Like there are some really good tracks on there that are super good. But yeah, this is one of Platinum Games' first games under Platinum, actually. And it is a pseudo action game / arena fighter. But I love playing niche games like this. They're like my bread and butter. So.
Besides fighting games, I mean, you said you love Metal Gear. Mm-hmm. What are your favorite games to play, either on stream or off stream? Because not every game is good for on stream, as I know.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy 14 was a game I really wanted to get to work on stream, but I like my audience just wasn't very interested in it, and that's probably one of my favorite off-stream games to play. I also play a lot of mobile gacha games, which is um probably not the most monetarily sound way to spend my time, but
Oh, I mean, not for
my
you,
Twitch
but for the
subscribers,
developers of those games, it definitely is.
yeah, my Twitch subscribers pay for all my gacha pulls, so it's fine.
There we go.
Hey.
And then I play a lot of I love playing, like I said, like weird action games all the time. I think they're so cool. If there's ever a niche game that someone's like kind of heard about but hasn't really played, that's exactly what I want to play. So stuff like Vanquish, God Hand, Mad World, Anarchy Reigns, like all these super strange games from like mid 2000s ish that are like kind of weird and schlocky. I love a ton. So
Well, if we
and
can
Monster
recommend
Hunter.
one for you, it would be Too Human from the Xbox
Too
360.
Human. Yes. Oh my god. That's crazy. It got brought up recently.
Oh, that
One of
game's
my
so
mods
bad.
suggested I play Too Human or Lost Planet.
Lost Planet,
Lost
I
Planet.
think, got decent reviews. Too Human.
Yeah,
Mike, did we end up playing that? I think we did.
Which one was that? Remind me which
Too
one's
Human is the one with like the shitty control scheme where you had to like you use the stick to. Yeah, we did.
We played it.
We did an Extra Life stream back in November. And one of the things that we had was every time we raised a certain amount of money, we would spin a wheel, and there was a wheel just of shit games. It was called the Wheel of Super Historical Interactive Titles. Too Human was on it, and there were a bunch of, like, all of these Zelda games for the Philips CDI were on there. Pretty much every Nintendo game from the CDI was on there. Hotel Mario, fantastic.
Yeah.
I would play that game every day if I could.
That was actually really awesome.
It was actually really fun. But yeah, just a bunch of shit games. Too Human was on there, and it was one of the first ones that kind of came up in the wheel when we spun it. And Mike played it for about half an hour. And I say played it for half an hour. I mean, you know.
It
was like legitimately bad though, right?
Yeah.
So the game that exists is legitimately bad. However, you can kind of see, like, the pieces are there for something not awful.
Yeah.
But man, it's just what it is just terrible. The thing that exists is awful. Man.
Yeah.
Like, what could have been would have been at least mediocre, you know.
I mean, it started a trilogy, but it wouldn't have closed down a fucking company.
For real. Yeah.
I might be going crazy. Did they make a Too Human 2? Or am I totally
No,
misremembering?
you are thinking of Two Worlds.
I am thinking. You're right. I am.
Yeah, Two Worlds is like the fantasy, like the really shitty Skyrim, and then they made a Two Worlds 2 that was, I guess, slightly better. Two Worlds is like Skyrim. You know, it's like a fantasy thing. Too Human is a third-person action RPG-ish where you play as Norse gods, but instead of being in like a fantasy realm, it's like the future, and you have guns and mech suits, and well, not mech suits, but just like armor. It's weird. But no, you're thinking of Two Worlds, which also is shit, and you can beat it in 10 minutes by making the townspeople kill the final boss right at the beginning of the game.
I think I remember seeing a speed run of that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think that's the speed run, is them getting to the town and making the townspeople kill the final boss, and then it cuts to the final video of the game. So,
I just looked up pictures of Too Human. I do vaguely remember hearing about that. That's definitely going on the list of that. That sounds like it'd be a good drunk stream game. So
now, I'm glad that you brought that up. Drunk streams. We drink. Mike and I drink. Okay.
Yes, we do.
I don't know. So before this, for everybody watching, Rose had never had a drop of alcohol in her life, and we said, "Hey, go grab a beer from your fridge." And she's like, "I don't know why I have those in there, but they're there."
Yeah.
First time she. So how do you like alcohol?
There a half. It's pretty cool stuff. No, I do partake in alcohol. I am. There was a half drank rack of PBR. that I already had in my apartment. So,
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm 29 years old, so this is my first beer ever to celebrate my 29th.
Yay!
There it is.
Happy birthday! I'm a fancy bitch, and I pour my drinks into a glass. I don't like drinking out of a can, you know.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But to be fair, I got
PBR...
this glass in London.
Whoa.
Howling Hops in Hackney Wick. They're a brewery over there, and they had it was a tank brewery, so all their beer was fresh as fuck from the tanks before they even put it into the kegs or anything, and that's where they poured it from. Phenomenal. We went there, I think, 4 times, and we were there 3 days. Really good. But the drunk stream, you start off your drunk streams with a very precise measurement and a very specific drink. Do you want to tell us what that is so that we can make it on Friday when we stream?
Yeah, so the drink, it goes by 2 names. I would say...
No. There's one name. We know what it is.
There's one name. We're trying to get a new name started, but the new name we're trying to get started is the Squirter.
Okay.
Which is... It's not as good as the original name. The original name is Piss. Because it looks like piss. It does just look like piss. It is Monster Energy, 3/4 of your glass is Monster Energy, and then 1/4 of vodka. Of the glass is vodka. That's how we start off every drunk stream. And
Aggressive.
I
like it.
I obviously can't endorse it, mixing caffeine and alcohol. There's health risks or whatever.
Do it, cowards.
Personally, I don't tell people to make it.
Yeah, no.
I have to say this at the beginning of every drunk stream. I'm like, because this is something I learned is occasionally people will come into the stream and they'll be like, I've been drinking along with you. I'm so drunk. And I'm like, don't tell me that. Because
don't do
one,
that.
I don't
Please
care.
don't.
2, Twitch is going to get mad at me.
Yeah.
So I start off every drunk stream like, I'm drinking. I don't care if you drink or don't. But if you do, don't tell me about it because I don't care. And then I put up a little sign that says drink responsibly. Just so people know. But drunk streams is something we do not super often. Probably once every month or 2 months, I would say. And they're always a lot of fun. They generally get a little wet and wild. I a lot of times delete the VODs afterwards because I'm like, no one else has to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
No, the drunk streams they're super fun. That's what this one turned into when you started playing Anarchy Reigns. And this seems like a game that's perfect for a drunk stream because you do not need to pay attention really to the story. It's just giant dudes with tiny heads. Either fighting each other or fighting a giant robot or just riding a lawnmower that flies for some reason.
That flies around, shoots missiles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, the action games, the real low management, the niche action games, I love playing those for drunk streams. And then another classic is Dead by Daylight, because that's just it's another brain off. I just have to murder people. It's great fun. I don't have to think at all. So,
yeah, Dead by Daylight. I'm awful at that game, but it's fun when you have friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing a that will probably turn into a drunk stream this Friday. So the day after this goes up, we are going to be streaming live on maybe Mike's channel, definitely my channel, Mr. _Hawks182. I think so. I think that's what my Twitch is. Pretty sure. There'll be links on our Blue Sky. For our so this is our 1-year anniversary episode, I think. I don't know how anniversaries work. Is it after it or is it the day of? Is this the anniversary or
it's usually the day of? I don't know.
So this is our anniversary stream with Rose.
Yeah.
Incredible. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So then next week's episode is the beginning of year 2, I guess.
And so we're going to start off on the right foot by getting absolutely hammered.
That's the way to do it. No, that's a good question, because my Monarch of the Steel Rose number 12 is technically not on the day of. It was the month before, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12, right?
Yeah.
So, but I celebrated it as though I had been doing a year of tournaments, even though it technically hadn't crossed over yet. So
yeah.
So this is our very special 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
With the glorious Rose Waltz.
Mm-hmm.
The day after this drops on Thursday, so on Friday night, was that February 21st?
Yes.
Yeah, February 21st, live on my Twitch, we are going to be recording next week's episode of Story Motors Podcast with Arturo Robotron. He's another kind of funny best friend. He is also a bartender. So we gave him a list. We gave him a list of video game characters and said, "Here's a list of video game characters. This is the alcohol that we have in our homes. Make us some cocktails."
okay.
Yep.
So on Friday, he sent us the list of the cocktails, like, didn't tell us who they were based on, and just, like, a list of ingredients, so we're going to get those. So on Friday, we're going to go live on stream, and he is going to be with us, and we're going to make the cocktails live, and then try to guess who they were based off of.
We're gonna die.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so... Rose, if you wanna join us and drink, by all means, you are more than welcome to show up here any fucking time. Mm-hmm. You are incredible.
Seriously.
I still have a bunch of questions about fighting games. What the fuck is netcode? We can get into that next time. I don't know what the fuck that is. I hear it all the time. But
netcode is, I'm going to explain it super quickly. There are two major kinds of netcode. There's delay-based netcode and there's rollback netcode, and it's the way that the games sync up the two different opponents. So in delay-based netcode, in order for the game to catch up, the game delays your inputs by a certain amount so that there's time for the signal to be sent to your opponent, and then there's signals to be sent back to you, blah, blah, blah. Everybody hates delay-based netcode. It sucks. It feels like you're playing underwater in molasses. Then there's rollback-based netcode, which the way that it works is it uses rollback frames. And what it does is whenever the rollback frames are high enough, what it will do is it will kind of predict what your opponent might do. So like if they're running forward, it'll very likely say, and you have 6 frames of rollback, it'll say, okay, for the next 6 frames, they're probably going to keep running forward, and that'll show up on your screen so that there's no delay. But there can be some things where if it turns out they jumped 3 frames into there, the game will have to roll back so that it actually gets your opponent's inputs. And that can lead to some really weird things in high rollback situations where, like, notoriously, there's a Street Fighter V clip where I think it's Guile jumps up in the air to do an aerial move and then suddenly is on the ground and does like an EX special or something, and it looks really weird with rollback, but rollback's way better than delay based, like 100 times out of 100. So
that is now there's 2 different types of netcode. That's what I'm learning right now. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. Well.
Right.
Mike, she might be one of the smartest people we've had on this fucking podcast.
Oh, for sure. Like, way smarter than either of us.
Like, way smarter. Way smarter than both of us. Combined.
Dude, we are, like 1,000%.
No way.
I just learned 2+. I said, you know what, Rose? It's rude to listen. Okay? When we're talking about you.
True.
Okay?
That's true. I'll take my headphones off.
There you go.
I do have a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering, for whatever that's worth.
Yep, smarter than me.
Yep. I have an associate's in something. I don't know. I sold the degree.
Sold it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got $400. I sent the physical degree to somewhere for a TV show and then just forgot about it.
Oh. Huh.
Free $400 though.
Yeah.
Maybe not free, but
well, the return on investment there is not great. But
look, I'm waiting for them to shut down the Department of Education. Then I'll be like, I don't know where to send this money to, so I guess I'm not paying anymore. You know. Mm-hmm. We live in hell.
They shut down the Department of Education. We're starting a university, baby. Come on. No accreditation.
Like that Justin Long movie.
Yeah.
That Justin Long movie.
Exactly.
Fucking love that movie.
Who wants to put on the hot dog suit?
Ask me about my
wiener. Okay, well, it's official. Rose is now the 3rd co-host every week, so we will see you.
There Tuesday.
It is.
Nice.
No, but Rose, I mean, we don't want to keep you too much longer. Lord knows we could talk about shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys have any like final questions, we could do like a lightning round or something. But
best fighting game ever?
Gundam Extreme versus Maxi Boost On.
Okay.
Goddamn right.
Favorite gunplay you've ever made?
Favorite gunplay I've ever made is the Real Grade God Gundam.
Best Hideo Kojima game?
Best Hideo Kojima game, Metal Gear Solid 2.
Okay, Mike?
Most annoying gunplay you've built?
Most annoying gunplay I've built is... That's a great question. It's probably the Dendrobium.
Yeah.
The giant
Yeah,
one there, because it's old and it sucks. Oh, no, perfect grade Zaku, because it's old. And Bandai didn't know how to make kits that made sense, so...
I'm assuming
Good
these
to
are
know.
robots.
Yes, they are.
I don't know.
Good to know. Yeah. What was your first gunpla?
First gunpla was a high grade 00 riser.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
Once again, I think it's a robot.
Yes, it
It
is.
is a robot.
Okay.
Good guess.
Okay.
How big is your backlog?
Huh?
How big is your backlog?
Okay.
Currently, I think it is just a Verkaz Zeta Gundam and a couple of Blue Eyes White Dragons.
Damn.
So it's pretty small
That's
right
a
now.
Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I know that.
That is a
There it
Yu-Gi-Oh
is.
thing, yeah.
Damn. Look at you have a respectable sized backlog.
Right? It's just because I haven't ordered anything on P Bandai recently.
Oh, damn, look at you throwing around the bank account.
I've seen this by your right arm on the ground. There's a red box.
Yes. This is my Blu-ray collection of Mobile Fighter G Gundam.
Okay.
Oh.
So I just saw. Pull it up again, if you can.
Where?
What is maybe on the sides? Is there some writing or anything on the side? Maybe the bottom. I don't know what I saw.
But you saw something.
And now I can't see it. I saw the red, and I saw like a little tiny bit on the side of it, and I was like, "Is that a Persona 5 Royal Edition Collector's Edition box?"
No.
It is not.
I don't like Persona 5 enough. I'm a Persona 3 fan, so...
It's fair. It's a great one. It's a fucking great one.
Man.
All right, now for the next 2 hours, we're going to talk about Persona 5 or Persona 3 Reload. Mike, take a knee. I'm just kidding. I love that game. Incredible game. And Metaphor. So, Rose, yeah, before we get out of here, where can people once again find you? Talk about your Twitch channel, whatever you have, wherever you're going to be. You know, tell us when the next podcast is going to be, the next tournament's going to be.
You can find me twitch.tv/Rose_Waltz. It's also Rose_Waltz on YouTube, and I think on Blue Sky as well. And then I don't want to plug my Twitter because I don't use it anymore.
Yeah, fuck Twitter. Fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck Donald Trump and fuck Elon Musk. Greg Miller was right.
Currently, I don't have any major events planned for the rest of February. So it'll just be regular Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday streams. But next March, there'll be a new Monarch of the Steel Rose, a new drunk stream where we might play 2 humans. So it should be fun.
Yeah. Do you know what the game is for the next Monarch of the Steel Rose?
It should be Street Fighter 6. Yeah.
Okay. So, exclusive here, Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Monarch of the Steel Rose number 13. Sign up. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
These tournaments are, like I said, even for someone like me who's a dumbass when it comes to fighting games, I love watching them. Your commentating is great. I want to get you in contact somehow with Snowbike Mike from Kinda Funny and have you two commentate something. Because he's incredible at it. You are incredible at these fighting games and everything, and I think that would be a great 1-2 punch.
You said he did League of Legends and Marvel Rivals?
So the League of Legends Marvel Rivals is just kind of like on his streams. You know, he's like, we've got like, you know, we're in a lobby of a bunch of people, and we've got, you know, there's 12 people that play Marvel Rivals, and there's 13 here. How about you guys play, and I'm just going to shoutcast it and do like the commentary on it and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So how well he will do with fighting games, I'm not sure, but like
I was about to say I could go the other way too. I used to play a lot of like hero shooter games, TF2, Overwatch, and then I hate to admit it, I was a League of Legends fan way back when. So
yeah. So I mean, you guys are both you both got incredible personalities. You're both really fun to listen to. You're very knowledgeable, which I think is the biggest thing for a commentary team or a commentary person, is just actually knowing what the fuck you're talking about. You know, I could commentate over Tekken, and I'm like, oh look, punch fight, punch kick, flying kick, they win. You know, like, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But when you're knowledgeable and you can actually explain what fucking netcode is in a way that, I mean, Mike knew. Obviously, Mike's a genius. Mike knows everything.
Netcode is what ruined all of my online races, so that's why I don't do Gran Turismo or, well, I never did Forza because that's just a cesspool and a war crime. But you know, like Assetto and stuff like that, netcode is what ruined my races and turned me bitter and jaded.
That's fair. That's fair. And last thing, Rose, what is the number one game you're looking forward to in 2025?
In 2025, I think it was originally supposed to come out in 2025. I don't think we'll see it, but Death Stranding 2. Otherwise, Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't think that's coming out this year. I don't think there's any way. Is.
I think Death Stranding 2 will come out this year. I think we've seen enough of it to where it's at a point where it's going to come out this fall.
Okay, I guess part of me is just coping because I have been planning a video essay for it for like the past year, and I want to do it before Death Stranding 2 releases, and
you better
I don't know what the timeline for that looks like.
You better get on that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm thinking if we don't have it before then, we're going to get a 2025 release date at the Summer Game Fest. Because Hideo Kojima and Keighley are best friends, or at least in Jeff Keighley's mind, they're best friends. And I think if we don't have it before then, before June, then Summer Game Fest, that's going to be one of the biggest announcements, is Death Stranding 2 release date for fucking maybe November. I don't know. It depends on when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out.
Right.
Like, there's so many games right now where it very much feels like they're waiting for when Grand Theft Auto 6 has that release date. And then like, cool, we're going to be a month away or a month 2 away before.
Yeah.
5 months after, you know. So Death Stranding 2 and or Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah.
Big Monster Hunter fan?
Huge Monster Hunter fan.
Okay. Our friend OM Jesus over at Neon Pocket Dimension has I don't know, you might already have a group that's going to play, but he's got to sign up for a lot of great people, kind of funny best friends, to basically sign up and be like, hey, let's team up together with some really cool people. So anybody is interested in that, hit us up, and I will post the link if he's cool with it. And Rose, once again, you're more than welcome to sign up for that, and you're more than welcome to join us here any fucking time.
Whenever.
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
You're great.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. Honestly, time has flown, and so I would be more than happy to come on again and talk more, because I feel like I yapped too much, but also not enough. So
not enough. We yapped way too much.
No.
Yeah. There was only like 2 tangents. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, where's the tangents?
Come on.
Hey.
But no, I appreciate y'all having me on. This was super awesome. I had a great time. So
yeah. So follow Rose Waltz on Twitch. She streams, you say Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday?
Yep.
Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, and then these the Monarch of the Steel Rose tournaments are usually on Saturdays.
Right.
Same with, I think, drunk streams for the most part from when I've seen them. She's got a great Discord, very active, incredible. Follow her on Blue Sky. Fuck Twitter, fuck Elon Musk, fuck Donald Trump. And Mike, are you streaming this week? Are you in the beginner streaming this week before Friday, or?
Yeah, we might.
Okay.
Yeah, so she really wants to get going on unpacking, so we will see what Thursday holds. So hopefully, Rose. So my handle on Twitch is Nerding for Beginners, and it made sense when I was doing the D&D playthrough podcast because I never played D&D. My buddies had never played D&D, and then that ended, and then it was just me streaming, like a guy who's been playing video games since he was like 6. So 3+ decades. So it didn't make sense. So I recruited some friends who hadn't really done it, but now it's me and my girlfriend who is not a gamer. So we're introducing her to games through various things. She played Donut County on her most recent streams. She loved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's going to try Unpacking next at the recommendation of Robert here. So
beautiful game, made me cry. Loved it.
That sounds super cool.
Right? Yeah. So she streams on Thursdays. I stream on Mondays. So hopefully we'll be playing some Unpacking on Thursday. Otherwise, I might hop on and, I don't know, play something, get into Call of Duty and be a total shitter. Who knows? We'll see what happens. You know.
But regardless, we will see y'all on Friday. So tomorrow night when this drops on my Twitch channel, Mr_Hawks182, we're going to be making cocktails, getting drunk, just hanging out. And we are also, and I went over this with Cameron to make sure that he was cool with it. During our stream on Friday, we're going to have a little you know, what is it? A virtual tip jar. Because we are kind of going to raise a bit of money to do a little rebrand of the podcast. Same name, same two dumb fucking idiots hosting it and talking about video games with incredible guests that are way cooler than we are. Rose is one of them, obviously. But, you know, a cool new logo, cool new overlays, new look and everything done by the very, very, very fucking incredible French dip design, Cameron French. If you haven't seen his work and you're a Kind of Funny best friend, then you're a fucking liar because he does a lot of shit for Kind of Funny. He did the JK Games. They just did a rebrand, plus the new channel Drop In Drop Out podcast. He did all the logos and everything for that, and it's a great vibe. So French Dip Design is going to be doing a rebrand for us, and we're going to have a little virtual tip jar to help kind of pay for that rebrand, because obviously, you know, he's an artist, and artists deserve to be paid for their work. You know, wouldn't ask anybody to do anything for free. Except for Rose being on this podcast as a guest. So sorry we don't have any money.
And you said my check was in the mail. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, I didn't say there was anything on it. There's just a check in the mail.
That's a post-dated check. Don't cash it until the year 3000.
Yeah, $0.
Yeah, it's year 3000. So once we're underwater and you know, mermaids with 3 breasts are around, then you can cash it. So
perfect.
It's the real year 3000. Fuck the Jonas Brothers. All right, we will see y'all next week. I'm going to hit that outro music that, once again, you guys can't hear. So
okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Do that.
Also, I don't really have a problem with the Jonas Brothers. I just prefer the busted version of Year 3000. Okay, the original.
Yeah,
so they did the re-release last year, 2 years ago, where they were both on it. It was pretty cool. Big fan of that. Really cut down this outro song because there's still 15 fucking seconds.
Jesus.
Of just
so much. Well, whatever. You know, gotta have that dead space at the end.
Yeah. But not that Dead Space 2 because EA canceled the remakes.